Hi guys, I'm Edward from Haya. Today I will make a video to introduce how to produce a type of care label. Care label has many types. In today's short video, I will introduce these kinds of care label. There are 4 pages, it's a folded half. Before I introduce detailed operation, I list a detailed requirement from a customer of this job. uh, one by one. There's 4 page care label folded half. And the second is the width is fixed. The page height or page length is dynamic. That means it will expand it in different height. In here, for example, 75, 85, 90, 95. We give the full height. They will dynamic expand according to the content way. It's an economic way to save the material. And on the first page, I put PO number, size, made in China or the origin, country origin, and the wash icon. And in the first page, uh, it also includes the the country code with the composition. If it's not space, uh, they will move next page. Move to page 2. When the composition finish, then the care instruction continue. The first page plays variable, I call it variable fixed position information, such as PO, size, right? And the multi-language composition. I need to move to next page when it exceeds the special defined position and give the space to the country context like this. We move to on the second page, not very special, but in this demonstration, there's the EAC image here and the Wendy barcode here. It's the position is relatively fixed. We will calculate according to dynamic page height. And the third or fourth page have the special. It's very normal from here to the end to next page. And in this case, the country code and the composition or the care instruction is separated. Some customer case, country code may be included in the composition box or included into the care instruction box. It's easy to handle. But here, in the patented toolbox, a little bit special process. This is okay. Okay, this the job requirements. For the design, we need to do 3 preparations. One is the Excel data file. I'll show you this. This is the care label, PO, size, color, barcode, or country of origin. It's normal. The special is here we just list only one language, one country language composition. Of course, in most of case, many customer will list all of composition in different country language. Well, I think it's not necessary because Haya has a translation feature in our software. We can convert, for example, here is English, convert it to Japanese, convert to Chinese, only one language is enough. And there's no special. It's about the wash icon code or care instruction code. So we can using this code links to 2 things. One is the icon image. Another is using this code we can link to the care instruction. So if the customer give you this code, very good. So this database is enough. We can do anything based on this database. The second is we need to prepare the image. Image includes the wash icon. Uh, Here I produced image for the company contest test, and the ESC image and the sewing image like this. There are many watch icons, but for demonstration, only list 003 because it's included in the database. So I like this. Okay. We also prepare a dash line image because dash line wise uh, 35 or 40. So here is 40, 35. So it's a dash line. And another dash line type is like this. So why we do that? Because in the job there's two dash line type. Uh, this is EAC, and another is full line like this. In this, the PDF image is ready. So the second preparation, and the third preparation is dictionary. It's very important. So I show you. Uh, I think the brand owner, your customer, use the dictionary, but the format is Excel. So in the Excel, there's a cotton, English how to say, Japanese how to say, Chinese how to say. Okay, but it's difficult to access by the software, not by Haya, but all of software is difficult to access. In Haya software, we translate your Excel XML based document. In Haya software, we call it key data. So can use the notepad to open it. I just let you. So you can write WS0, FR how to say, ID how to say, US how to say, CN how to say, JP how to say. You can copy paste here, copy paste. This part is care instruction. You can edit. This country here is China, CN how to say, CN, EN how to say, KR how to say, JP how to say. So you can make the China, Vietnam, or Indonesia, or another different country, many countries. This country part, and the third part is the material part. The material part share how to, different country. There are three parts. Mostly there are three parts. Some customer just give you a long care instruction in English, so you need to paste here. This is called higher dictionary. Actually, it's an XML based file. Finish. Then we start to design. Because this job a little bit complicated, so I will introduce the key steps and the key points. Uh, the first is to introduce how to design the country code and the separated composition and care label instruction. So it's the main content of the care label. So then I will tell you how to set the logic for move to next page logic, how to set the relatively fixed position based on page height, and how to set a student image in different page, different content. Now we go back to the very print. To do the care label, you need to buy two components. One is Haya VeriPrint Professional version. It's our core platform. Another component is Haya Care Label Option module. First, we're using a new job. So in this blank page, we set the width 35, and height here I set 300. But you can set another number. Just there's enough space to put this box. It's okay, no problem. So this the designing page height, and the final print height. You can go into a software. There's many options here. Dynamic page setting. You can set. You can set here. Okay, you can set here. In this demonstration, I don't link to the real database. It's easy. Just link to the field name. Field name is easy. Uh, Here, I just want to tell you what is the care label designing logic. It's important. So the content of each box is a fixed content I input. Okay. So first, I refer to this job. I tell you, this job is for the upper part is variable fixed position. That fixed position. So how to design is easy. So here I drag a box, and I open a one record database, just a serial number. So double click. Here is a pure number, size, color. Here I fix the number. In the real job, you can link to the database. So this is the first part. Easy. Then lower part is wash icon. Wash icon has two ways to design. Here is one way. We drag using this button to drag a table and separate it in here in 5 cells and define each cell links to a wash icon PDF file. Here is the fixed. You can link to database, make it a variable. So uh, advantage of this way is if one cell the content is empty, another cell will lay out automatically. The gap will adjust automatically, so parallelly. This is the advantage of using the individual wash icon. Why we do this? Because in this job, the customer say, I have given you the symbol code 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's easy to input the wash icon one by one. So here I use this way. Another way is if the customer design one line, the combination of 5 wash icon into a one PDF image is easy, just using the variable image controller to drag a box links to this image. So there's two ways. Both are very simple to design. Then below, it's important part. We start to design the country code, and here is the position. So using the old controller to drag a two box. There are some important setting I introduced. First, of course, is linked to the content. Here, I still inputted the fixed value. An important setting is here. You need to set the fixed position true to false. Here is false. False means the position is not fixed. It will move down, move down, move down dynamically. If the upper box expand, this box will move down accordingly. So each box I set it here, each box here, I will set false, 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 false. So this is one very important setting. Another very important setting is uh, we give a name. For example, here I give a A1, A1, and here is a country code, grouping control name A1. So these two boxes for country code using the global control name A1, and for this box using the custom name A1, these two names should be same. The purpose is box, the composition or the care instruction box move down, move down, move down, and the country code will move down, move down, move down at the same time, or move to next page. The country code will move to next page because there's a link. This is the second very important setting. And the third is each position box or each care instruction box, we need to set snap frame to content. That means you see there's a small box, just one line box. The real content is very long. This box will expand if we set this feature option according to the contents. So when this font, for example, here font, the below box will move down, but the gap keep the same. And another very important setting here is move to next page logic. So how to say when or move to the next page? Here, cross page is move to next page, the logic setting. We have two options. One is the whole cell, this is the whole box content move to next page. And another option is the rest of cell content. Uh, because, for example, here's a five line. Uh, there are two lines on the first page, and there's no space. Another rest of 3 lines will move to next page. It can save the material. Next, I will tell you how to design this element. Uh, in the care label, there are many text box, or one debug box, or two debug box, or EAC box relatively available, but the position is fixed. Is fixed. For example, it's a distance between this box or the distance between the EAC or the Wendy barcode between this and the bottom edge is the fixed. So I call it relatively fixed position. So how to set? I take example. This is the like a company box PDF. I using the variable image box to drag a box and the link to this PDF file. Then in higher software, we have a dynamic box properties setting. That means y position and width and height of this box. So here is a parameter. Where it come from? So I tell you really. First, we have many functions. First, we have a page order function. Then we can get the current page number. When here in this job, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can get the current page number using this function. And another function I use here is we define get the page height. Why we use this? The page height or page length is dynamic. What is the real one for this job? So we need to get the page height. So here, for easy to understand, I'm using the page height minus 25, minus 25 forward, minus 25, minus 25 forward for this, for EAC. So this the bottom edge. Page height minus 25 is this position. So in the future, we're using this parameter to define the Y position of EAC. And this one minus 15, minus 15 for what? For this company information block. In this way, minus 3, minus 11, it's all of relatively fixed position value. So we define it, link to the company box and set a parameter. That is the position of this box dynamically, but relatively fixed. And the second I will introduce is EAC. EAC a little bit more setting than the company box. The same as the company block box is we're using a dynamic, this one. So it's dynamic. Then, many important is beside this setting, we have another setting for EAC. One is the EAC, I don't know, EAC is in page 1 or page 2, page 4, but in this job is page 2. So here I set a page head, like in Word. A page, if set one element as a page head true, that means every page in this position will appear the EAC, every page. Then we will design another logic to tell you which page to put. Here is the printing control by using a parameter. If the print control is 0, that means do not print. If the printing control condition is 1, print it. So this the variable printing control AC. AC are using a parameter. If the current page is 1, 0 means do not print it. If the current page is 2, 1 means we print it. So this is the job requirement. I using this way to design a logic for print or not print for EAC. The same idea we can apply to debug. Debug with Dropbox here. Same idea. First we're using dynamic. It's a minus 21. It's a little bit lower now. And the second is we set the page header true. That means every page has opportunity to appear this one debug. But we set a parameter for printing condition. The same idea. totally same. Current page 0. Page 2, print. Page 3, 0, not print. And next I will tell you how to put the viewing image. Viewing image is variable, content is variable, and the position is variable. Right? Like the content is variable. So the content is different and the position different. I make two parameters. Dash line position. That means I show you. So current page is when the start point of SRY position is 8.3 millimeter. And if this page 2 relatively, it's relatively because you know this dash line is linked to the bottom edge. If the page height is long, this dash line position will move down. Page 2 is relatively the position, and the page 3 is fixed the up, and the page 4 is relatively lower. So using this parameter, we can get the position of dash line. And another is about dash content. Dash content is also very easy. Yeah, very easy. Page 1, we put the dash line 1 image. Page 2, we put the dash line image. Dash line 2, 1, I have already prepared here. 1, 2. So in this parameter, we can get the variable dash line content. After preparing these two parameters, we can do the setting using the image file to drag the box to database and link to this image file. And the important is the position, X position, this Y position. The Y position we get from parameter. It's dynamic. Third, still image in different content in different position. This logic I have introduced. Okay, finish. We can print out. Print out to desktop. No template. Print out. We can get. So it's the first page, second page, third page, fourth page. So you may ask, why this big space here? Why no content? Because we set a logic, a composition box or the care instruction box. We set the whole content move to next page. So after this composition, there's a care instruction. Yes, care instruction, but it's not enough space. So we move this care instruction totally move to the next page. So that's why we got a big space here. I forgot to tell you, there's two special move to next page the position logic. That means in the first page, you need to move to next page earlier. That means you need to leave a space to put the company box. And in the second page, you need to move earlier because you need to give space for EAC and Wendy barcode. So how to set this logic? I need to prepare a dynamic upper position or bottom position of the content. Upper position is easy. Easy. I show you. Like in page 1, we start the whole content. The Y position is 15. The second is 3. Why 3? Here is 3, right? Here is 3. So second page 3. The first page 15. The page 3, 15. Here is 15. From the up edge, here is 15, including the 10 dash line height. So 15 from here, 15. And the fourth page, 3. So the upper dynamic position, the Y position parameter, easy to define. We tell you this bottom position. Bottom position, each page different. So I make a parameter here. I show you. So so in the page 1, it's a parameter, the page height minus 15. Okay, so it will move to next page earlier. And the page 2 move to next page more earlier, 35, because it need to leave space for EAC and the Wendy barcode. So do not print here. Move to next box earlier. So Y position is, and the 3 is easy, -3, and the page 4 -15. So the parameter for the bottom position, then we will apply these two parameters here. So top content, that means upper position is this parameter, and the bottom parameter here. So bottom position and upper position, we're using a parameter to define. So another important is about the translation, language composition, and the keylabeling instruction. It's very easy. We have a function to translate. Of course, we can translate one material name one by one, but we also have a function to translate the whole composition cell. For example, the cell content is like this. We want to translate into the CN, just using the CN. For this job, for example, the JB is this content. We make a parameter FR, how to write the composition, and write the full content. Actually, it's a variable field name for GB, or CN, or JP. So we will translate automatically to different language composition. So why I tell you, you don't need to prepare another language in the database. Just the one English description is enough. We have a, and another is how to get the care instruction from the symbol code. So it's easy. We have a get key value, that get the value from key database. Here is using the symbol code 1, FR. The same idea, we're using the parameter, there are many parameters, FR, JP, CN. So after writing this parameter, we can get this imposition and this instruction. Why? Because this instruction description is already in our dictionary. If you want to get this effect, you need to buy another software. Another software is Haya Tech Proof. I'll show you dedicatedly for the proofing document. I use the file to demo to you. OpenText Proof. We have already make the logic for different kinds of proofing imposition logic. So here I choose a KLabel, for example, KLabel 2 by 2. That's a job. The job is make ready. For example, it's a 4-page. Here is a 4-page. So open it into database. Click OK. Yeah, you can get this kinds of. So it's easy. This tech proof. So I finish this a little bit long time demonstration. Uh, if you have any further question or like to see a demo, you can visit our website or visit our local professional dealers. Thanks for your watching.